My name is Bryn Ingram, and the winter I turned 34, my parents announced they were simplifying their estate. That's the phrase my dad used. Simplifying. Like they were reorganizing a garage, not rearranging their children's lives. 2 weeks later, I was sitting in a polished law office in Fairbanks, while a man in a navy suit told my older brother Dale he would inherit the family investment portfolio, the commercial property in Anchorage, and the lake house outside Seattle. And me? I got the cabin. Not the picturesque Instagram kind of cabin. I'm talking about a weather-beaten structure, 3 hours off the highway, past a logging road that turns into gravel, and then into prayer. No plumbing. Spotty solar power. A roof that whistled when the wind hit it sideways. Dale actually laughed. Of course she gets the cabin, he said, like it was a punchline everyone had been waiting for. My fiancé Marcus squeezed my hand under the table, but it wasn't supportive. It was tense, embarrassed, like my inheritance was contagious. That night, back at our apartment, he didn't even try to sugarcoat it. Bryn, your brother got assets. You got nostalgia. Do you have any idea what this does to our plans? Our plans. Meaning his boutique development project that needed capital. Meaning the life he'd already designed in his head. I told him the cabin meant something to my dad. That maybe there was more to it. He stared at me for a long second and then said, "You're 34. Grow up. It's a shack in the woods. Stop romanticizing scraps." Ouch. 3 days later, he moved out. Funny how quickly love evaporates when there's no money in the room, right? So yeah, I drove north alone. Not because I thought I'd uncover treasure under a floorboard or some dramatic secret like in the movies. Honestly, I just needed to see what they'd chosen for me. I needed to stand inside it and decide whether it was an insult or something else. The cabin smelled like cedar and old coffee. Dust floated in beams of pale winter light. I ran my fingers over the table where my dad used to shuffle cards on long August nights. I could practically hear him clearing his throat before one of his stories. And here's the thing. No one tells you about being the responsible daughter. You become the family's emotional storage unit. Dale was the golden one, the risk taker, the big personality. I was the one who stayed close, who helped mom after her surgery, who drove dad to physical therapy when his knees started giving out. So standing there, alone in that cabin, I didn't feel cheated. I felt chosen, which sounds dramatic, I know, but stay with me. On the second day, I found a metal lockbox in the crawl space. Not hidden, just tucked behind old insulation like it belonged there. Inside were documents, not stock certificates or secret deeds. Letters, dozens of them, written by my father over the last 10 years, each one addressed to me. I sat cross-legged on the dusty floor and opened the first. "Bryn," it started, "if you're reading this, then I trusted my instincts." My dad had been diagnosed with early onset cognitive decline 3 years ago. He'd hidden it well, too well. The portfolio and the commercial property, Dale had been managing those to help. Only my father had quietly discovered irregularities. Loans taken against assets, risky reinvestments, money moved without full disclosure. He never confronted Dale directly, not because he didn't, but because he wanted to see what integrity looked like when no one was watching. The cabin, it turned out, had been placed in my name years ago, along with the land surrounding it, land that had recently been approved for a conservation partnership program, protected acreage, tax benefits, long-term residual income from environmental grants and research leases, steady, modest, ethical. He wrote, "Dale wants growth. You understand stewardship." I cried so hard I laughed. Like, of course my father would turn estate planning into a character test. When I got back to town, Dale was already furious. Apparently, once the accountants finished sorting everything, they realized the commercial property was leveraged to the ceiling. The investment portfolio? Volatile, risk-heavy, built on assumptions that required constant cash flow. And then there was the little detail Dad had arranged with his attorney. If any asset was mismanaged or defaulted due to negligence, control would revert to the trust's secondary executor. Me. Dale stormed into my office one afternoon, red-faced. "You set this up?" I blinked at him. "Dad set it up." "You think you're better than me?" I actually laughed. Not cruelly, just tired. "No, Dale. I just didn't treat everything like it was mine to burn." Marcus tried to circle back too. Showed up with apologies and that soft voice he uses when he wants something. "We could build something out there," he said. "Eco-lodges. High-end retreats. It could be huge." There it was again. Huge. I looked at him and felt nothing. Not anger, not longing, just clarity. Not everything is meant to be scaled, I said. The final twist? My parents weren't as fragile as we'd been led to believe. Dad's diagnosis had stabilized. Mom had been in on the whole plan. They wanted to see who would protect something simply because it was worth protecting. Not because it was flashy. Not because it impressed strangers. But because it mattered. It's been 2 years now. The cabin has running water. Solar panels that actually work. Graduate students come through in the summers to study the wetlands. I manage the grants between survey contracts. It's not glamorous, but it's mine. Dale and I, cordial, distant. He's rebuilding, slowly. I hope he finds peace that doesn't depend on applause. And me? I sleep better than I ever did in that downtown apartment with the future Marcus had mapped out. Because here's what I learned. When people measure your worth by what you can monetize, they reveal more about themselves than about you. Sometimes the real inheritance isn't the loudest one in the will. It's the one that trusts your character. If you've ever been underestimated, sidelined, or handed the lesser share, maybe this is your reminder. What looks small might be sacred. Thank you for listening to my story. If it resonated, if you've ever chosen integrity over applause, subscribe to *Her Untold, Revenge, and share this with someone who needs the reminder that quiet strength still wins. I'll see you in the next one.